every month we highlight a different tech queen on the scene,
Okay.
and January is gonna be your month. So
Okay.
January
Perfect. That's my
we'll
birthday
be
month.
highlighting you. And I like it because new year, new
Hmm.
era, tech queens in outer space.
Yes. Okay. I like that. And it's my birthday month.
Right, and it's your birthday month, so we can give you a birthday shout out. Well, I'm excited to go through these questions with you and just kind of learn a little bit more about your background. I was very, very impressed when I met you a while back at the Museum of Flight and you shared your story.
Mhm.
Um, so just to get right into it, what first inspired you to pursue a career in aerospace technology, and what led up to you becoming a senior manager in aerospace? For the
Okay.
people that don't know.
Okay. Gotcha. So first things first, I knew nothing about aerospace when I was growing up or in high school. And I got introduced to aerospace actually through an internship. So I interned my sophomore year in college with the Boeing Company in Huntsville, Alabama, and that's where it all started. So an internship, which led to that started in 1999, and it led to my long-term employment when I graduated Alabama A&M University later on in 1999. And so how I became a senior manager is that once I became an intern, I graduated college, of course, and then my first job was an avionics test engineer. So that's all of the electrical checkouts for the rocket before it goes to the launch site in Cape Canaveral or Vandenberg Space Force Station. And I did that for about 10 years, and I actually got bored testing rockets, believe it or not. And we had a company merger, and by that time, I had two master's degrees. One was an MBA with a concentration in project management, and then one was a master's of science in computer information systems. So there were a ton of openings in Colorado, and I took a huge leap of faith and moved to Colorado and took a systems engineering job in 2008. And so by getting exposed to corporate, which was in Colorado. I stayed there 13 years, and I just moved back to Alabama about 3 years ago. So, with that experience, with me being a test engineer, rocket scientist, and then get my master's degrees, moving to Denver to be in corporate, learning the company, learning about contracts, you name it, I was able to grow. I was able to become a first level leader, customer interface, you name it. And so when the senior manager position opened up, it was a no brainer because it all came from me taking a huge leap of faith, getting out of my comfort zone, being a test engineer, leaving Alabama, moving to Denver to gain some experience, and it prepared me to become a senior manager. So that's how
Okay.
all of that went.
Well, that's amazing. It's an amazing story and very inspirational. And I remember one thing in Pacific, I don't know why this detail stuck out to me so much, but I remember you saying when you spoke at where we were over in Eastlake,
Uh-huh.
you said that nobody else applied for the internship. You
Absolutely.
were like the only person. I think you had to write an essay or
I did. I did.
something,
And I
and
love,
nobody wanted to write the essay, so nobody applied but you.
yep. And I love to speak about that. And that's one of the quotes that I like to use when I go out and speak. And I'll never forget it. And it's opportunity is missed by most because it comes dressed in overalls and it looks like hard work. So
Mhm.
because something looks hard, people
That
tend
was
to,
it.
people tend to stray away from it. And so when it came for that internship, you had to fill out an application and write an essay. So there were a ton
Mhm.
of application, but I was the only one to write the essay. And we were supposed to get $2,500 each, and I received the whole $5,000, and was the only one to get the internship because nobody else filled out the essay. So
Well, I guess they said you deserve it.
Absolutely. My just missed opportunity and I capitalized on it. I took full advantage of it.
That's amazing. That is an amazing story to be able to hear that and then see how things played out because of their same internship.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Cool, cool. So, are there any accomplishments that you're most proud of? Any pivotal moments? Any mentorship guidance that you'd like to share?
So I yes, one accomplishment and it goes back to the whole internship. So when I was in high school, I was told by a leader in high school that I needed to set goals that were more realistic. When I told this person that I wanted to become an engineer. So
Mm-hmm.
my life growing up wasn't
Yeah.
easy. You know, my mom was killed in a house fire. We were on welfare. Sometimes I would only eat when I went to school. But to tell me that I couldn't be an engineer because my family didn't have money to send me to college, it kind of broke my heart. It actually did. And thank God I didn't listen because I recently celebrated this year 25 years of becoming a rocket scientist, an engineer, and senior manager. So that was a huge milestone for me. According to society and some people, I'm technically not supposed to be where I am. So that was a huge accomplishment for me to go from that comment um, in high school to becoming a engineering student at Alabama A&M University, going from an intern to a senior manager, and now celebrating 25 years at this company. I mean, it's just amazing, and I'm absolutely blessed. So that had to be that's the major accomplishment for me.
Yeah, it's definitely major when you can hear someone speak against a dream or a vision that you feel so strongly about. And you deal with different conflicts and just trying to grow to the space where you're going to, and overcoming everything that comes along with that and being able to look back and say, I actually did it.
Hey, absolutely. So sometimes you don't understand why you're going through something, when you're going through it, but when you get over to the other side and you look back, it becomes your testimony, and you begin to share it every time you go out to speak to encourage others not to give up on their dreams.
Right, right. So, anybody that's listening or viewing or reading, one thing that I live by a lot of times when I just feel like this is just unreal, unnatural. Why I gotta go through this?
Mhm, mhm.
Sometimes we really go through things just so we can help other people.
Right,
Because
right,
God know, oh, they gonna be the one to not forget what they had to go through and encourage the next one. So sometimes
right,
we just like, well, here, go through this too, since you're already going through that, because then that's gonna help some more people. So
right. So I do believe in there's no testimony without a test.
right,
Got to be tested before you're able to go through and speak about your testimony of how you overcame. So I do believe in we get tested sometimes, but then that you learn and you grow, and then it allows you to have a testimony to share with other people. So
right, right. That is true. I can definitely agree with you on that. So, I know that you kind of spoke about some early childhood challenges or obstacles, already, but did you ever experience any challenges or obstacles that you had to overcome, as far as it being like a male-dominated industry? I know we have all seen the movie,
yeah,
with our girls, Hidden Figures. And when I think about you, I can't help but to think about Taraji them strutting down that hallway like this is what we came to do. So did you ever experience any of those types of feelings where you felt kind of like you were not welcome or not wanted?
Okay, so I will have to be honest. Two things. This was before everybody started believing and understanding that smart people actually come out of HBCUs.
Mm-hmm.
So here I am coming out of an HBCU. Um, I'm dark skinned and I'm in my early 20s. And I remember my second day on the job, I was talking to an older gentleman at work, and he looked at me, and we were having a conversation about, work, my future, my aspirations. And then first thing he said was, "You'll never be married." And I was like, okay, not sure what that meant.
Like you having a good day? Like
Yeah,
where they come from?
right. And then the second encounter I had was initially coming to work, being an engineer. I was responsible for like giving instructions on how to test a rocket or perform troubleshooting steps if something didn't work right. And these are older guys, and I'm this young woman in early 20s giving them paperwork on what to do. And we had to build that trust because initially they didn't trust me, didn't trust my, instructions, my work. But over the years, we've gotten to a place where that doesn't exist anymore. But I don't know why sometimes we have to prove ourselves when we first get to some places. But I'll admit I did have to go through some of that. But if it exists right now, I don't see it. Not saying it isn't there, but I don't see it right now or experience it. But in my early years, it was definitely you can actually feel it. So, but
Right.
but right now, and I was a bit nervous. I'm young, I'm new, and it
Mm-hmm.
of people that look like me, and let alone not a lot of people that look like me, but there weren't a ton of women in a manufacturing facility in a rocket factory.
Mm-hmm.
And so I remember when I found out I was pregnant with my son.
Mm-hmm.
I was 24 years old, and I was super scared to tell my boss because I didn't want them to think that I wasn't coming back to work. So I didn't have anybody to really, really talk to about me going through that or saying, "Hey, I'm going out to have this kid, but I will be back to work." But there was another female at work that I was able to talk to. Actually, we were pregnant at the same time, and it made me feel a whole lot better. And I was, eventually able to talk to my boss, and I came back to work. But I do remember even being scared about that piece. But right now that doesn't exist. And but there was some things that I did experience and had to internally overcome in my early stages of my career.
Wow, that's very touching. So, one thing that I wanted to ask after listening to what you said, so you got pregnant, you were concerned about telling them because you were like, they probably think I'm not gonna come back. Was this the same person that told you you would never get married? And did that happen like before or later down the line?
It happened about 2 years later in different person.
Okay,
Yep.
different
So
person.
yeah, so I guess it's like when you first get there, you have that one male's perspective, and then you're assuming, hey, I'm in my early 20s. I don't have the knowledge and experience that I have right now. So I'm assuming that's what everybody's thinking. And with him,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of made me nervous. And I didn't tell my boss until I was almost delivery mode because I didn't get the belly.
Yeah.
Yep. So and I try to encourage and talk to young women at work, the new mothers, going through this that, hey, everything's going to be okay, but they're not experiencing that now. We have FMLA, or certain type of leaves for fathers now, but a lot of that wasn't in place back when I was going through this. But they have somebody to talk to now, when in that early situation I didn't, because there are more women
Yeah.
in manufacturing now than there were when I was first starting out.
Right, right. So you definitely been out here blazing trails, as we can see clearly. So which brings me to my next question. Um, how do you ensure that your team stays at the cutting edge of aerospace innovation?
That's a good question. I encourage my team to not settle for what we're doing today, to always be thinking about the future. And by doing that, I get them exposed to conferences, different symposiums, including myself. I was actually at the White House 2 weeks ago talking about the future of STEM, getting the workplace, the workforce, and the students in high school and college, right, elementary school, getting them prepared for the growth in the aerospace industry. So you never stop learning. And that's what I do with my employees, to encourage them to always, always, always read, get involved, in development work. You see a special project out there that you want to get involved in, go forward. Do not get comfortable. Continue to learn, because we are continuing to evolve, and you got to get educated. And when you get educated, you learn more, you're able to do more. And so when these opportunities come up for you to join, like we have a brand new rocket that we just completed our second certification flight on. We have development programs at work. Get involved in some of those activities to where you can learn the new technologies, where we're trying to go in outer space, planets we're trying to explore, as far as like national security. We've got to stay ahead of other countries, you name it. And so those are things that the average person wouldn't think about, but it's all
Mm-hmm.
about staying on top of your game and not getting comfortable.
Right, right. And talking to you just feels so comfortable. I feel like I'm talking to my sister homegirl. So
Hey,
when you said, different planets we trying to explore, the first thing that popped in my mind was like, oh, we should take a trip. And I'm like, wait a minute, I can't go to into outer space with y'all.
but and that's probably going to come up later throughout the interview, as far as like the future of space. But that will be and is a possibility if that's your choice. But
Really? So are you telling me that everyday people and everyday tech queens like myself can go to outer space?
yeah, so that is, as far as the future of space, what can we look forward to with aerospace engineering? Tourism.
Are we talking metaverse tourism, or are we talking like I need to put on the astronaut suit and get ready to get in the rocket tourism?
uh, yes, absolutely. And
Oh
so,
my God.
yes, so there will be tourism, and we're actually working on a lot of that now. You can see some companies that are currently doing it. So it will not just be for, the astronauts that go through their specialized training. And space tourism is something that's on the map. It's been tested, um, in some areas proven. And yeah, you can get you and your girls on a trip, depending on how much money you want to spend, and then go explore. So that's the future of space, tourism. So
I cannot believe that. It's like so unbelievable to me. And just to think about how much we have advanced from, just looking at the video that they
Yeah.
played during Black History Month, when I think I met you back in February when you
Yes,
spoke, to now where like this everyday people, as long as they got enough to get a ticket, they can go to outer space now.
absolutely. And I cannot wait. So we're recording this video, and let's circle back 5 years from now,
Yeah.
and
I
then
want to be one of the
have
first tech queens in
progress.
outer space.
Okay, all right, we'll get you there. So let's mark this day, and 5 years from now, I want you to look at this video,
See,
play these notes, look over these notes in this interview, and then see how far we've come as a nation. Uh,
okay, I will do that. I said all that and now I'm scared. I'm like, oh my God.
so get
What
ready.
I'm
Sound like you wanna go.
Oh Lord, now I gotta go to outer space.
Oh yeah, you got it.
Well, that'll be fun. I definitely look forward to learning more about that. So you have to keep us updated. That'll be pretty cool. I can't wait to hear more about it.
Okay.
So, what current projects, or I know you just mentioned a new technology and advancements that you're working on, but
Mhm.
what excites you the most out of everything that you get a chance to dibble and dabble in, that none of us, like regular people or regular tech queens, get a chance to experience?
You know what? For me, it's developing a new rocket. So
Okay.
I started my career in 1999, and we were developing the Delta 4 rocket. So the Delta 4 medium rocket, and then it was a Delta 4 heavy. And, sometimes at work, you would hear people talk about their programs that they worked on 20 years ago. They're retiring those. It never used to bother me because I'm like, okay, that's their experience. My rocket is never going away. The Delta 4 rocket program retired earlier last year.
Mhm.
We've developed a brand new rocket called Vulcan Centaur. And so not only did I join the company when we were starting a brand new rocket, I've been here long enough to retire the first rocket that I started on, as well as we completed our second certification test flight on the new rocket a couple weeks ago. So just being part of, and we talked about the future of aerospace, the future of engineering, just the future in general. We retired a rocket that I thought would be around forever. It did everything it needed to do. It made our customers happy, but it was time to evolve. We had to be innovative, and we also had to find ways that we can provide the same service or better service and then reduce costs.
Mhm.
So we were able to develop a brand new powerful rocket, and we just completed our second certification test flight. So that is, you don't get to talk about that or probably hear about that often, being a part of a two startup rocket programs that
Yeah.
astronauts to outer space or to the space station, go explore Mars, and put spy satellites in orbit for the National Reconnaissance Office. So we're doing that right now, and we're evolving. And with evolving, because it causes change, and so retired one rocket program, it was bittersweet, but then also being a part of the brand new development of this new rocket, and we just, like I said, completed our second certification flight, and we were successful with that. So I, I know I talk about it like it's just super common day terminology, but
No,
it's
I love the way you break it down though. So I'm not like, okay, yeah, I'm proud of you. I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm proud of you. Like you really breaking it down. Like I feel like, oh, that rocket was her baby and they had to
yeah,
put it down and then she did another one.
yep, it
So
doesn't
that's
it just
cool.
allows us to do what we're doing right now, which is this Google Meet, your weather satellites, um, you name it. We can't do any of that without the satellites we put up in space. So
Amazing. Amazing. I like the way that you break it down to everyday people. We know that we have to get the weather from somewhere. We
Yeah,
know somehow this Google Meet is working, but you know exactly what goes in behind it. And it's just so amazing to me because sometimes we set out to do new things and we have like all of these scary what if questions, like what if I can't maintain it or sustain it, or I get it to work one time but then it don't work the next time. Like it's just amazing to me how we hop on here. We rarely have issues with the different, technologies and stuff that
mhm.
we use every single day. Every time I look at my weather app, it tells me the weather for yesterday, today, tomorrow, and the rest of the week. I never have any problems.
We
So
have
just, seeing it run like
or,
that,
or some directions, some GPS to go to
right.
launch those satellites. So
Like we're never over here like, oh, the GPS ain't been working for the last 2 days. They got to throw some more satellites up there. Like
yeah,
it never give us any problems.
yeah,
So that's just amazing to me. It just speaks in so many different avenues and areas. Um,
okay.
so I know we talked about in the future, you see where everyday people will be able to go to space within the next 5 to 10 years. So we're gonna stay connected with you so we can learn more about that. Um, so how do you yourself stay updated with the latest trends and breakthroughs in aerospace? I know we kind of talked a little bit about your team,
Mhm.
but how would you say that you stay updated with the latest trends?
Yep. How I stay updated. My company makes
Mm-hmm.
that Tinesha Ross is updated. They allow me to be exposed. They send me to the White House to see what the country is in need of, what we're focusing on. Um, I personally, as an accountability piece for myself, stay up to date on AI. AI is coming, whether people are scared of it or not. AI
It's here.
here is upon us, and we have it on board. But just like I do with my team, I encourage them to continue to learn. Um, don't get stuck, and I have to practice what I preach.
Mhm.
Well, so I try to get my company exposes me to a whole lot with new development, new innovation, what have you. But a key part of that is even though they expose me to that, it is up to me what I do with it.
Mhm.
So once I'm exposed, I take it, I run with it, bring new ideas back, bring it back to my team, and then try to retain it for myself to make sure that when we're developing new rockets, developing new things that work, I'm able to come with new ideas, fresh ideas, and things to improve, the current processes. Get rid of the old way we used to do things. We gotta get better. So that is
Right.
key. And it's not just for the young people. You never stop learning.
Right.
Go out to speak, and when I talk to my son, the day that I stop learning, I need to do something else,
Right.
something new every single day, no matter how big or how small it is. So I never stop learning.
Right. And I'm glad that you said that like that because I don't know if a lot of people realize all innovation means is to continue to improve, really, make
Absolutely.
it better. And
Like,
like you said, continuous learning
yes,
and implementing what you learn. That's
yes,
all innovation is.
yep.
The guy that created the 409 cleaning formula, the reason why he named it 409 is because that's how many tries it took him to get the perfect formula. 409 tries is what it took him. So he decided to name the chemical 409.
And speaking of chemicals and formulas and 409s, WD-40, people use that to like spray, like when the doors are squeaking. WD-40 initially was created for the rocket industry. So that's a fun fact. Google it
Okay.
and
So
confirm.
that's why it works so good. It's been
Yep.
working on rockets.
Yes. Yes.
So this little door hinge ain't nothing.
Yep.
Okay, that's a fun fact.
Yep.
It's definitely a fun fact to know. So I got a couple more questions left
Okay.
for you.
Okay.
Um, the next one is what leadership qualities have helped you excel in your role as a senior manager?
Leadership qualities. Being yourself.
Mm-hmm. I
Um,
love that.
being yourself. Communication is key. Communication is key. Great communication skills. To me, being approachable and relatable.
Mm-hmm.
So senior manager carries a lot of weight. I never want to be the senior manager that the average person doesn't want to approach.
Mm-hmm.
I carry myself in a way to where approachable, yet serious, yet professional. And when you do that, you get more people willing to walk up to you, talk to you, whether it's gripes, um, hey, I'm having a great day, I'm having a bad day, hey, I have a process improvement. Can we think about implementing this? So that helps a lot. And that was a key and unique skill set that I think I have as it relates to being a senior manager. Listening, listening,
Mm-hmm. Listening is important too.
active listening. So we listen
Yeah.
by default, but I need people to actively listen. Listen to people. Have empathy. That doesn't make you a soft leader. We are all human. You got to be
Mm-hmm.
relate to and understand your people. And so those are key things that I use as being a senior leader. And then leading by example. So we always talk about giving back to the community, getting involved in this thing during work, this thing during after hours. So not only am I encouraging my employees or people in the company to go volunteer or go do this, and that, I'm meeting them there.
Mm-hmm.
So practice what you preach. Get involved and then be a visible leader. I'm a leader that's out, I'm visible. When you see me, you don't know if I'm coming for some good news or some bad news. But because I'm visible, everybody is prepared for what have you. And so
Right.
always talk about I was very active at my son's school, volunteering because I'm a motivational speaker. I go talking about STEM, you name it, but he was also in the band. But one thing about him, he never got nervous when I came to his school. So, his friends will be like, Chris, I just saw your mom going to such and such class. He was never nervous because I was always at the school, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
volunteering to, help out with the band or being a guest speaker in a class. I didn't just show up when things were, oh, he's in trouble or anything like that. I was at the school. So just
Mm-hmm.
a visible leader, you don't want people freaking out because of, oh, class,
Right. Oh, she here. We gotta hurry up and do this. Da, 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 da.
what went wrong? Right. So no, I'm
Right.
just out here. This is what I do every day. So those are key skill sets, and I think that's what's made me, successful as a senior manager.
I think that's good, having that nice, healthy balance to
Mhm.
where, like you said, when they see you coming, they have no idea if it's good or bad. It's probably majority good most of the time, unless it's sometimes you got to get a little bit of straightening. So
Absolutely.
I really think that's a great balance to have. I
Yep.
do.
And I live
You
that.
don't want to be too nice to the point where they can kind of get over on you, but you
Absolutely.
do want to be relatable and have a listening ear. So I agree. I think that's some great advice. I might have to sound clip that one a little bit, or if I do post any videos from here, I'll send them to you first just to make sure that you approve. But yeah, that was a really good piece of advice. Those
That's
leadership qualities. Okay, so last question. And I honestly feel like we are in a season of, collaborating more intentionally. I've been saying, 'tis the season to collaborate this last quarter of the year. So this question is kind of geared towards that. How important is teamwork and collaboration in achieving success in aerospace projects?
Teamwork makes the dream work. When I go out and do a lot of speaking, I talk to kids and students about reality. And I know there are times where we have to do group projects in high school or college, and you always have that slacker. But the
Mm,
leader wants that project completed as a team.
mhm,
There's no I in team. There is no I in, when we're launching these rockets. And if you ever look at the launch control center or any control center from a rocket launch, there's multiple people on console. Everybody has a different unique role. My focus has always been on avionics and then the electrical aspects. You have some people focus on propulsion, how the engine works. You have communications individuals who's giving
mhm,
cameras and talking about what the launch is going to do. Everybody has a different and unique role. You have to be able to learn how to communicate and work in teams, because if I'm having an issue on my end, I have to be able to communicate and talk to the person next to me, talk to the test conductor, talk to the customer, you name it, about the issue that I'm having. We do not work alone. Everything we do, whether it's working on contracts to get a new rocket, building a rocket, shipping a rocket, launching a rocket, there's not one person. Everything is done in a team environment. So
mhm.
work, I know that phrase is cliche, teamwork makes
It
it,
is.
but in my 25 years here, I've always been a part of a team. And team helps build character. Team helps build trust. Teamwork also helps builds communication skills. So
Mhm.
you cannot be successful in this day and age without being able to function and collaborate and work in a team environment. So that's
Right, right.
difficult, but you got to find a way to figure it out. Ask your mentors, your coaches on how you should, approach a certain situation. But there's no I in what we do. Everything involves teamwork from womb to tomb, from the beginning to the end. It's teamwork.
Right. I agree. And, it's also the cliche saying, we're only strong as our weakest link.
Yes, yes, absolutely, absolutely. So I highly encourage everybody, no matter how old or how young you are, you've got to be able to work with the person beside you, no matter how difficult they are or what have you. Find a way to work it out. But there's no I in what we do.
Hmm.
It's always a team. It's
Right. I like that. I like that. And, just letting that serve as a reminder as the last answer that the last question that we asked you, kind of just letting that linger and serve as a reminder that we have to know how to deal with all different types of people. We
absolutely,
have to know how to deal with difficult people. We have to learn how to deal with someone that you might consider slow or, fast or just whatever the case may be. We have to know how to deal with each and every type of person that comes into our bubble
absolutely.
in
Just
a professional, positive manner.
yeah, we're all different. We all bring something different to the table, and that's what I do appreciate about teams. None of
Hmm.
we're all different. We bring something different to the table. So teamwork is key in almost everything we do in life and in our careers.
I like that. I like that. And we're going to end on that note. So, thank you so much for your time. I'm so excited to put your article together and to, really just put you in front of our audience.
Okay.
Um, you know, the Tech Queen on the Scene blog is all about representation.
Mm.
We believe that representation matters at the Tech Queen shop. So we like to highlight different tech queens from everywhere once a month and having that representation for other young girls to look up to and know like, okay, well, maybe I should look into aerospace and just to see if that's something that I might like,
So that so
maybe.
that excites me because been in Colorado for 13 years, getting more young girls, especially young girls of color, exposed to rocket science, aerospace, STEM, you name it, was one of the reasons why I moved back. And so when I connected with you at the museum and then here right now doing this, it's like a full circle moment for me because I didn't know what the scene was like, here back in Alabama.
Mhm,
There's like exposure and things like, the tech queen, what are we doing? And
mhm.
I'm honored, 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 honored.
No, I'm honored.
Yep. Well, I honored to get this invite. And then, when I went down to how serious I am about what I do, when I drove down to that museum, I had just gotten off work, drove down, speak to the kids, got back in my car, and drove back to Huntsville. So that's how passionate and committed I am to our community, serving our communities, and getting us all excited and exposed about things that we're not familiar with. So I'm blessed and honored, and thank you for the connection, and thank you for showing up that night, and then for reaching back out to me because
Yes, I
it's,
was looking for you. I was like, we gotta find our astronaut girl because
yep.
Tech Queens in Outer Space 2025.
Well, here,
And
so
look, I didn't even know. I was just saying it. I was like, new era, new year, Tech Queens out of space. We got to get our astronaut Tech Queen on here. I got to find
but
her.
here I
And
am.
here you are telling me we might be going to outer space for real.
Absolutely, tourism. So get your girls ready. You might want to go for a birthday trip. I don't know, but get ready. And
Now I'm scared. Look, be
uh,
careful what you speak.
I'm telling you what's up. Get ready. I appreciate your time and thanks for interviewing me. I really do appreciate it.
Okay, thank you so much.
Hey,
You
thank.
have a great rest of the day, okay?
All right, you too. Thank you.
All righty, bye-bye.